Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being patient. We have got the geezer reconnecting as we speak, so the game is mere moments away, fingers and toes crossed. Welcome back to the GameStar Spring Series. My name is Kit Fox. I'm joined once again by the Knight Geo, and my man, we will get into this game very, very shortly. You were saying just before the break that you were liking the look of the eGirl.
Oh, absolutely. I like their team composition. And when we do get into game, there's going to be a reason as to why I like the team composition when we see that level 10 pickup, the potential team fight that they have. In terms of laning phase, it will be, like you mentioned, like who would have the laning phase. When you look at the team composition, it's, well, the Haka has an easier time in solo lane, but then Leori can sustain himself once he gets the leeching handoff. So that's kind of been even there. He can also deal with minions AoE, like, especially if it goes nil, peasants. He has that sustain. It's kind of like a back and forth. So it'll be pretty even, and that's why it's not going to be like an instant, oh, don't worry, multiple units got it. I think it'll be pretty even. But once we hit level 10, that's when the green light goes. That's when it happens. Unless, and this is a big unless, multiple units hit level 10 first, that Hanzo ultimate can definitely start to develop a snowball for themselves, which could be an avalanche eventually.
It could very well be. And the thing we haven't really spoken a lot about for this game, Geo, is the objective control. And it is Infernal Shrines, so players do need to be farming up those Shrine Guardians. And just having a look at the teams on paper here, I kind of have to back eGirl Slayerz as well, because you've got that Gul'dan with that Fell Flame, you've got Phoenix just with the Phase Bomb auto attack, and then you've got the Plasma Cutter. Turn it over to the side of multiple units. Yes, they've got the Hanzo, if he goes the Scatter Arrow build, but look, no brainer, he probably most likely will go the Scatter Arrow build. But then you've got the Mephisto, who is very burst damage orientated, but doesn't really have a huge amount of objective farm. So should the eGirl Slayerz take that early experience lead, I reckon they've got this, and we may very well be going over to a game 3, but then you press tab and you look at the players that are on the side of multiple units. I mean, Coffee, Magic Gnome, Shadow, the top 3, you know, just to name a few, it is dominating, and it looks like players have left the game here, Geo. We're going to remake the game, so we'll get that one up very shortly. Patient, but we are going to get this one up. I'll quit the game. Geo will be doing that also. If you like to look at the competition, ladies and gents, you can actually get involved, so get a team together. It is open to everybody, all skill levels, all ages. You can get your grandma to play. It doesn't matter. Get a team in, train her up, and just have a crack. It's all for a bit of fun at the end of the day, Gio.
Absolutely. It's the off season. And if anything, you are able to form a team and then you play, take a few maps, and you realize, hey, this is kind of fun. We enjoy this. We want to actually take it a bit more seriously. Well, guess what? We also have the opportunity for you to even go pro in the open division as well, which will be coming back next year. And we see teams, they go through that, hit Premier, and if you perform very well in Premier, well, guess what? Mind Freak did it. They got a chance at BlizzCon itself. Skimmy went there to cast with them. So there is a potential to go to Path of Pro with us over at GameStar with the Open Division and to the Premier Division, and it is possible. So it could start literally next week if you and your friends decide to do it.
That's exactly right. Mind Freak's Road to BlizzCon started with this competition, the ANZ HGC, and that will be coming back in the new year. We haven't heard anything otherwise, so I cannot wait for that one, Gio. You mentioned the Open Division. There is so much talent in the grassroots scene as well, so excited to see what they can do coming into the games. There is, of course, the Crucible games coming up too. We haven't really got much information other than what has been shared already, but that's another thing to look forward to. So even though it's considered the off-season, Geo, there's still a lot of HOTS and esports in general for you to sink your teeth into.
Definitely, and that's where we're going to see, I believe, We Left School for this, as well as Crimson Academy. Two of the teams that did come in from the Open Division, top 2, are going to be part of that in some way, shape, or form. And just that's their potential to go from Open Division into Premier Division. And that's what we're talking about in terms of the path to Pro. It literally will be happening at the Crucible at a later date, but that's for another time. Tonight we have a best of 3 happening with us, and it's going into game 2 as we start to load it up. This, we talked about it, we're mentioning about it, it's the best of 3. Game 1 went to multiple units. eGirl Slayerz looking dangerous with their team composition, but can they play it is the question.
It will come down to teamwork and communication, but I think they have got the experience under their belt to be able to pull something like that off. Even though we've said that this is the off season, these are some pretty high tier games that have been on streams over the last 2 weeks, and there's only many more weeks to come. So if you like what you're seeing, click that follow button up in the top to get notified every single time GameStar TV goes live. Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, we will be having the HOTS for you as well. I believe the StarCraft gets a little bit of love on the GameStar TV channel as well. Another official Blizzard-sponsored competition. Having a look at the loading bars, it looks like Giza has actually got some traction this time, so we will have a game under our hands. We made it, man. We made it.
It's worth it. No 15-minute waiting for a 15-minute series. You know, we can actually get in towards a game. It begins. But we still have to wait for the load bars to all kick in. I think when we do, though, what seems to be, I think, a rotation. We'll probably see a Leoric head straight up in towards the top lane, maybe, to deal with the Dahaka. And I'm a massive fan of the solo lane. That's my bread and butter. I love being in that lane. Highlighting that Leoric against Dahaka, it comes down to sustain. Leoric has it from the get-go. Dahaka needs his essence. If he can deny that, that's great. If he can't, well, you know, he's going to be quite a nuisance with that silence once he hits level 10. The drag, level 1. It's going to be a bit of a back and forth, but I don't think any real kills will happen unless a ganks do occur.
Oh, the Geese has just slowed down a little bit. He's halfway there. He's fed the hamster, but does need to replace him. There we go. We're finally into the game here. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, here of the GameStar Spring Series, week number 2. It is multiple units versus eGirl Slayerz. Multiple units currently with a 1-map advantage in this best of 3 series as we get rolling on Infernal Shrines. They are on blue. It is Coffee on Hanzo, Ulti on Mephisto, Shadow from Crimson on Decad, Magic Gnome on Diablo, and Jesmez also from Crimson on Dahaka.
Meanwhile, on the red side, we've got eGirl Slayerz. It's going to be Geezer on Gul'dan, Penta, Phoenix, Stump God on White Mane, Raven on... And finally, Matt will be playing Covenant. No, unfortunately, Mirande this game, but Muradin and White Mane to take up instead. As we already get a little bit of a brawl happening in the mid lane.
Yeah, Decad coming out strong, going for the Sapphire build onto the cube as well. Degiza gets caught, gets flipped by Diablo, and that will be the first kill going over to multiple units. This is not what you want to do if you're an eGirl Slayerz player at the moment. You want the early EXP lead, and if you kills up like that, you just get over to multiple units. Jesmez, he's narrowly going to get away from that one, burrowed at the right time, and in come Magic Gnome, just to create distance between Penta on the Phoenix, and who is narrowly with his low the Manhunter, and now Jesmez will take up positions in that team while down men from multiple units trying to get a push start. He's a rogue in retaliation, as Stowe utilizes that Wraith form because Penta can on finish out massive amounts of damage.
We're talking about early in the draft and pick about Mephisto. He doesn't really have that much of an area clear for the creeps. He can, but the thing is, he can't do it from a safe distance. He ends up putting himself in the line of fire when he does go in because it's all around him rather than in an area in front of him. And that could be dangerous if he does back away with that Wraith. He could save himself, but then he just walks right back in. That's where knowing where that is, having positional play and also awareness on that could cost him if he doesn't play it right.
So Matt attempted to gank down in the bot lane, and Penta on the rotation as well. Unfortunately, will get spotted by the Sonic Arrow and turns his attention over to the Khazra camp. So lane pressure prioritized here from eGirl Slayerz, but Ulti's actually going to spot this, who's played mages to perfection so far this series. A fantastic Orphea game, and just backing it up here with the Mephisto securing the kill onto Phoenix. So eGirl Slayerz, that pause was all for naught. Now we've got ourselves another situation where they fight over the camp. Oh, the Shadow Charge bullies Matt off the point, and Magic Gnome will push this one away. And multiple units, they've stolen it here from the eGirl Slayerz. They've got a slight EXP lead, a 2-kill advantage, but eGirl Slayerz doing well to keep themselves in this one. It hasn't blown out to a massive avalanche just yet here, Geo, but it could very well do so should they not get a cap on it. Now half a level in favor of multiple units.
That was a great interrupt by Magical on towards Penta. It allowed him to secure the kill. When he tried to warp away, he got interrupted and gets stunned, flipped, killed. and that opens it up. Now Matt looking to get himself onto ulti. It's not going to find anything, just forces him away. But as the shrine starts to activate in 7 seconds, they do have themselves kind of, I guess, 3/4 of a lead at the moment. It's slowly coming back, but this is just pre-10. Once we hit level 10, that's when the real action begins. And like we said, it's whoever gets their abilities off first. And, well, if they can capitalize on it. And speaking of abilities, Hanzo has decided to go dead.
Yeah, just to change things up a little bit. It helps with the wave clear. I'm not 100% sure if it works on the Shrine Guardians. I don't believe it does, but that could have been changed. Meanwhile, Magic Gnome just gets away here. The Flame Stomp to heal himself back up there because the choke points around these... Oh, there we go. It does work. So we will. I'll put that one in the back pocket. Meanwhile, Stump God is in danger here on the white main. Is narrowly going to escape. Will get caught by the Scroll of Sealing, but gets back some much needed HP. If you give White Mane a little bit of time, she can be dangerous, and just when you think you secure the kill, she's back up and healthy, but the mana situation is something that Stump God needs to take into account because it's very, very low at the moment. Not sure if he's got Sippy Cup enabled just yet. It looks like no at this stage, given the way he's positioning. And we'll just take a backline, so well done there. Great positioning.
Interesting, that was a 4v5 for quite a long time. Raven was still stuck in the middle lane soaking up, and now he's come to join the fray, and the fight is going, gets started. Kid Fox, we're seeing members fall like it's for eGirl Slayerz.
Matt, yep, gets taken down as well. Almost a narrow escape there. Ulti, good work there with the Mephisto, blinking in, dealing damage, getting out. That's what you need to do, especially when you are a squishy mage. But hey, he knows that, given the way he played Orphea in the previous map on Sky Temple. Meanwhile, Coffee getting to work here with that storm. So the Shrine Guardians 5 only, and they will get a frozen one. So tier 2 in Punishers, but hey, Geo, any Punisher is better than no Punisher, and that's what multiple units know, and they take the advantage.
And being a tier 2 Punisher, it's multiple secured it, and we've seen previous games. They know how to push with what. They can definitely threaten this top fort and secure it. And as we're seeing right now, they're having a 4-man push. They're going to work on towards those wall of the fort as the Punisher is now damaging in the backline. So it's a great leash by eGirl Slayerz, but can they be careful if they stay a bit too long? We're going to see an engage come out from Magical Gnome. You see him lingering, you see him wanting to. But Ult is taking a bit of damage in return, Kit Fox, and they are going to back away. The walls, happy with that.
Yep, Magic Gnome just pushing Matt into the wall, but Stumpy doing White Man things. Penta needs to be careful. Got melted pretty hard there, but does warp away. Zeal is up on him. So once that shield recharges, he will be back into the fight. Magic Gnome, though, and the rest of multiple units, they cordon off to Giza on Gul'dan. And that is 1 DPS down for eGirl Slayerz. They yet to pick up a kill. Here are the team in red. Meanwhile, 5 in the bank. For multiple units, ulti hunting for the kill, couldn't get past the healing fountain, gate kept by an immobile object. How do you feel? We'll ask him after the game. Meanwhile, Leoric down in the bot lane needs to keep his team in this one here, Gio, because they're currently down 8-9.
I really like the Sapphire pickup by Deckard. I feel that Shadow has been really monumental in these team fights because he's able to slow him down. He then gets a Scroll of Sealing to lock down multiple members, and this allows Desmond, this allows Magical Gnome to walk up, get the CC, get the stun, get the engagement on the right targets who are sitting far back. How else are you going to get onto Giza? How else are you going to get onto Stump God? Well, Deckard Cain allows that. And once we hit level 10, which they are about to, they're full level ahead, we'll definitely see something along the lines of Dragon Strike, and there is a stay on while listen, just to enable that kind of follow-up through as well.
Yeah, so the bottom lane positioning is looking pretty good here from multiple units. They're looking to steal away the Kazaras from eGirl Slayerz, who are all up in the top lane. They need to rotate and rotate hard because multiple units going for another cheeky steal. There's not a lot eGirl Slayerz can do here, and they're forced to gift this one over here. And Coffee just getting some free damage on that healing fountain. Any damage is good damage. Actually, that's a lie. Damage is good damage when it's not on you. As level 10 now at being hit for multiple units, they don't really need to engage here because eGirl Slayers, they look lackluster in their gameplay. I don't know if they've stopped communicating or maybe they're just deflated from multiple units, but they've stopped their rotations. They're not looking to take any sort of fight here. They have just hit level 10, so now is the time, if there ever was one. But they can't afford to be giving up free camps on their side of the map here to multiple units.
We're seeing Salvo being picked up by Phoenix, so unfortunately there's no wall cracker combo with the Entomb. A bit safer play, hit multiple targets in case Entomb only lands on just one. You do have Mephisto can get away, but now a fight happening, and there we go, Kitty, it's begun.
Yeah, Hanzo Arrow was a complete whiff, but Penta's salvo was not. Meanwhile, Diablo blowing the lightning breath. There goes the Entomb from Leoric. Raven and Matt taking lots of damage. Matt just gets away, lends the Stormbot onto Coffee. Meanwhile, Raven is forced to Wraith form away. Stuff got extremely low. Doesn't have their heals. In comes Ulti with the Lightning Nova, but Stuff got too key in the end. Narrowly survives. Shadow trying to steal a kill with the cube sealing, scroll of sealing combo, but does not land it. But multiple units will be quite happy with that one. They got Geezer. He's all the way back and now take the bottom objective as well. So this is very good play here from the boys in blue.
They need to be careful because Shadow does have Stay On While Listen available to him. It's the only ultimate that's not been popped. Entomb's up in a few seconds, so is the Scarlet Aegis for Whitemane. But a big fight over this shrine will ensue soon. 23-0 stacks in favor of multiple units, and Matt deciding to go in as well as Raven with the Entomb as well.
There's no follow-up. That's the only one with an ultimate available there. Still 20 on the Purification Salvo. No Horrify either. In goes Whitemane. Throws down the Scarlet Aegis. It's not enough to keep Muradin alive. He gets taken down. Removed. Leoric is taken down as well. So there's no front line at all. As Phoenix gets dragged. Oh, the best tongue in the business. Penta, ladies, he is single. And now they're going to take this objective as well. Geo has bowed out of the game yet again. We'll get him back in very, very shortly, we can hope, ladies and gentlemen. But wow, multiple units. So good here in and around objectives, in and around team fights. And we talked about the level 10. Should eGirl Slayers hit it first, they'll take the advantage. They didn't hit it first, and now the EXP lead is just blowing out something chronic. They're too far behind. The sheer mathematics of the equation are against them, and they're just holding off this second Punisher here, Gio.
They secure it, they apply it. Unfortunately, no, with good old ANZ meets a stormy weather, you know, you can't help it right there. But they do have a talented advantage. They're going to threaten this bottom fort. Won't be able to defend much, but as Matt gets stun locked into a bloody hell, half health damage. They're still chasing off. He's trying to survive. Lightning Breath gets popped though, but they should secure this kill on towards him and this bottom fort as well.
They do good zoning play coming out there from Magic Gnome and Jesmez. They're going to get Whitemane as well. The isolation is just way too strong. And Mephisto comes in with the mop on cleanup crew with a big double kill. Jagiza is narrowly going to escape here with his life. And just like Sky Temple, they're repeating it here on Infernal Shrines. They're taking objectives and they're pushing through the bot lane with just sheer might. That Punisher doing work, just under 50% HP now. They collapse on Raven. He manages to get away, lands the Drain Hope, and will regenerate much needed experience. Meanwhile, eGirl Slayers on the defensive. They've got a full team. Here we go. This is their best chance yet. 15-12 on the scoreboard. They still haven't hit the talent tier. There we go. Finally, now they need to pull the pin. Pulled the trigger on an engage here. There goes Matt. Dwarf tosses his way in. Throws down the Thunderclap. There's Penta. It's going to be a 4-man Purification Salvo. Coffee on the back line, taking a lot of damage, but there's no pressure on him. It's all on Diablo. They're going through the front gates, and they take down the front line. Take Diablo, but he does have Soul. He's back relatively shortly. Six now on the trade, gets taken down, so it's a 1-for-1. 16-13 in terms of levels here, but the drag is good, and Jesmez for the second consecutive time lands it, secures his team a kill. And speaking of second consecutive times, that's another Hanzo arrow that's going to go into the wind all the way over. In fact, it's still going all the way over to Cursed Hollow, and the bottom lane is extremely open at the moment.
That was a smart engage by eGirl Slayers. They had the right idea. Equal talent tier. a lot of the cooldowns were on the side of multiple. You have them all listen. They don't have lightning breath. A lot of them were down, so they decided to go for the engage, but it just didn't work out, and they were able to turn around. The sustain from Deckard Cain and lockdown was just so strong.
Trying to get away with the warp, unfortunately, gets removed. So 14 kills to 1. It is an absolute buff here on Infernal Shrines in favor of multiple units. And the wheels just falling off multiple units, extending that undefeated streak. You would think so far as we take just over 13 minutes in the game. Jesmez going to take an Emerald Cube this time. Sorry, it was Deckard throwing out the Emerald Cube, so not much heals coming the way for eGirl Slayerz. In goes the Consumed Souls, an offensive ult. Coffee lands an ult this time, but Raven is going to be able to get away. They secure the kill onto Jesmez, so again the squishy mage Gul'dan gets taken down, and the beefy frontliner as well, Muradin, so they lose 2 here to eGirl Slayerz, and multiple units just continue to flex all over their opponents here. 16 to 1 in terms of kills, 18 to 14 in terms of EXP, and very soon, Geo, you would think 2 games to 0 in the GameStar Spring Series.
Multiple units are looking dangerous. They're looking like the gods of the spring season. And we thought eGirl Slayerz, this is their first week, so maybe a little bit of miscommunication, teamwork. Could be a bit crisp if they wanted to, but they still took up a fight. But multiple units are just like a whole nother level. They're definitely a team to be, and after tonight's performance, looking very strong. But don't count eGirl Slayerz out just yet. They can hit level 16 soon, just before the Shrine. They can potentially turn it around. Leoric will have his 16 talent. He'll be able to reduce the amount of damage that Hanzo and Mephisto can dish out. If they get the right engage on, get the right damage on, it could work, but it works on how well Shadow's positioning, because he's been turning around a lot of this, and it's also the Arcane Shrine non-punish.
So we're going into the phase, as you mentioned, 18 to 15 in terms of levels, and it's well in control here of multiple units. They need to hit that level 16 very, very soon, because already multiple units are halfway to objective. Still no level 16 here for eGirl Slayerz. Father Time is just dominating them here at the moment. The clock is MVP. The Geezer gets caught in another scroll of sealing. Forces out the cleanse here from Whitemane. Magic Gnome taking a lot of damage. In comes Jesmez with the isolation onto the healer. That is big, but he misses the drag this time, but he will succeed in creating a zone, pushing back 3 members. Penta in the defensive purification salvo only hits 2. Ulti and Jesmez need to be careful. They are extremely low. Ulti goes down, as does Jesmez. Now Shadow is going to fall if he's not careful. This is the play that eGirl Slayerz needed. They're on even talent tiers. They're behind on XP, but they do not care. Yes, they're going to lose the Auric. They're going to kill on the Magic Gnome as well. Oh my god, the heals! He's just got his Soul Stone coming up, and that was a lot of HP for Diablo. And all of a sudden, you'd think Mal'Ganis used Dark Conversion there, because he is back in the game, and multiple units, they have turned this fight on its head, and now they're the ones being the aggressors. Magic Gnome don't give 2 hoots.
Deckard Cain meets Stomp. Diablo just... The sustain was just insane. He did not fall, was nearly about to die. Then immediately out of nowhere hits half health. Just Deckard Cain keeping his teammates alive. Meanwhile, Coffee left free to just Stormbow after Stormbow after Stormbow. Now he's still finding Mag, gets to secure the kill there. And multiple units looked weak. They looked like they were about to fall, but somehow turn around and will secure themselves that Punisher there. Looking at towards the replay, so we're seeing Jesmez.
The early dominance coming out from multiple units, but then in come the eGirl Slayerz. Have a look at the zone that Jesmez created, but he was way too deep, and all of a sudden eGirl Slayerz, they were losing the fight because 3 of their members were. Back on the live screen now, you've got Raven who gets flipped over the wall, and Shadow Charge back is forced to use the Wraith form, and luckily that grants unstoppable because he just ate Stun City, go Stun City. He will survive, and Stump God will heal full HP. The level's just been ticked over from MU, and this is where they can really start to be dangerous.
If there was a team fight, what's happening?
Good. Geezer gets absolutely destroyed here. Hellgate from Diablo on Shadow Charge. GG's from there. Flip measure 2 could not move. Meanwhile, Matt, doesn't matter who you are, you need to be careful. You can't tank a 5-man absolute monster Fiesta in the mid lane. And Stump God will get down Mr. President on Muradin, but it's not going to be enough. And GG's to multiple units.
Well played by multiple units. They were able to get their team composition up to a level that is unseen before. The Decker Kane was monumental. He's Scroll Ceilings, his Sapphire Horadric Cribs. They were just right on point, got the right targets. Giza could not move. We talked about how, like, they can just sit back and relax. There's no real kind of dive potential except for maybe Diablo. But Decker Kane doesn't care. He's like, well, we'll make you stand still for us to get to you. We'll just walk up and slap you in the face. And that's what they did. Giza gets caught out, followed by White Man. It just worked after one, after the other. And then you've got Hanzo Coffee dishing the damage on the side. Ulti on Mephisto's like, well, I'm just going to walk up and do a lot of damage. And then if you decide to run away, well, guess what? I'm going to rain it down and nuke you from above. And that's just what happened. It had great control, great positioning, and multiple units taken 2-0 just on a whole nother level.
Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal from multiple units. Yes, the eGirl Slayerz put up a fantastic show. Number one, a lot closer than game number two. They just weren't able to execute their team composition as well as they would have liked. In the end, they lose 2-0. It is 23-3 on the final map of Infernal Shrines. But that's going to be it from us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that the production has been a fantastic time here. Shout out to Blank, who's organized those awesome replays that you've seen on screen as well. So the production value is definitely stepping it up here. So once again, thanks for joining us. If you think, hey, I want to get involved with this, you definitely can. This is a competition that is open to all ages, all skill levels, all teams. So get everyone you know into your HOTS team and enter. It is a bit of fun here for the GameStar Spring Series, the off-season competition that we've put on out of the pure kindness of our hearts, because we absolutely love you guys in the community, and we hope that you can return the favor. Click that big heart up in the top of the screen there, and we'll see you here next week for more Heroes of the Storm action here on the GameStar Spring Series, 7:30 AEDT, right here on GameStar.